So starting off with Battle for Azeroth factions, first one being Order of Embers, which is an Alliance only faction. These are obtained from Quartermaster Elkhorn and Agram's stand in Justvar after obtaining Exalted with the Order of Embers. You have the Dusky Warcrest Griffin, which is 90,000 gold. And you have the Smoky Charger, which is 10,000 gold. Proudmoore Admiralty. These two are obtained by getting, of course, Exalted with Proudmoore Admiralty. The two mounts obtained from Provision of Frey in Belarus Harbour in Tirangard, which is the Proudmoore Sea Scout, which will cost you 90,000 gold. And then we have the Admiralty Stallion, which will be getting from Provision of Frey in Harbour Master's office in Tirangard Sound, and that one will cost you 10,000 gold. Next up we have is Storm's Wake, which is another Alliance exclusive. For these ones you'll have to go to Sister Liliana in Branadam Storm Song Valley. You'll need, of course, Exalted with the Storm's Wake to get these two mounts. The first one being the Storm Song Coast Watcher, which will cost you 90,000 gold, and the Dapple Grey, which will cost you 10,000. Next up is the Horde exclusive, which is Talangi's Expedition. Two mounts for this one, first one being the Expedition Bloodswarmer, which you'll get from Provisioner Leah in Zul'Jan Ruins in Nazmir, which will cost you 10,000 gold. And then you have the Captured Swamp Stalker, which you'll get from Provisioner Legia in Nazmir, which will cost you 90,000 gold. Next Horde exclusive is the Voldonai. Two mounts for this one, the first one being Alabastar Hyena, which you'll get from Horde Jaina in Volpera Hideaway in Volden, which will cost you 10,000 gold. Then you have the Voldonai Dune Scrapper, which you'll get from Horde Jaina in Voldoon, which will cost you 90,000 gold. The Zandalari Empire is next. Two mounts for this one, the first one being the Coldite Paradox, which you'll obtain from Natal Hakakat in the Great Seal Dazalor Zuldazar for 10,000 gold. Then you have the Spectral Terrorwing, which you'll get from Natal Hakakar in the Zuldazar, which will cost you 90,000 gold. Next we have the Waste Wander Sky Terror, which you will need Exalted with the Alden Accord to obtain this mount, which you will get from Provisioner Quora in Ramkahan Oldham. I'm terrible with these names, which will cost you 24,000 gold. Next is a Rustbolt Resistor, which you will need Exalted with the Rustbolt Resistance in order to obtain. This will be bought from the Stolen Royal Vendor Bot in Rustbolt Mechagon, which will cost you around 500,000 gold. The Unshackled Wavery. You'll obtain this mount from having Exalted with the Unshackled and purchase from Finder Pruk in Nazjatar. This one is Horde exclusive. Ankoan Wavery. This is obtained by having Exalted with the Waveblade Akoan. This is also purchased from Atterson Akoka in Nazjatar for 250 Prismatic Mana Pearls. Moving on to Legion now with the Ruin Strider mounts. You will get these from being Exalted with the Argusian Reach and purchased from Taran the Revered in Argus, each costing 10,000 gold. You have the Amethyst Ruin Strider, the Beryl Rune Strider, Cerulean Rune Strider, Reset Rune Strider, Sable Rune Strider, and the Umber Rune Strider. Brine Deep Bottom Feeder. This will require being best friends with Conjurer Margus, who is located in Dalaran. Purchasing this mount will cost you 100 drowned mana. The Lightforged Warframe. This is obtained by being Exalted with the Army of the Light and is purchased from Vindicator Giuliana in Argus for 500,000 gold. Now on to Warlords of Draenor, the first one being the Saber Stalkers. Two mounts to get from these ones. The first one you'll be able to obtain by being honoured with them. You'll be able to buy the first one from Zintega the Walker in Tanan Jungle for 1,000 Black Fang Claws, and the Exalted mount, the Blistering Hellbore, will be able to be purchased from Zengar the Walker in Tanan Jungle for 5,000 Black Fang Claws. The Death Tusk Fellbore. Now this can be gotten on either faction, and if you're Alliance you'll need to be Exalted with Hand of the Prophet, and if you're Horde you'll need to be Exalted with Vol'jin's Headhunters. For the Alliance you will get this from Vindicator Krefos in Tanan Jungle, and for the Horde you'll get it from Shadowhunter Denjai in Tanan Jungle, costing 2,000 gold. Shadowmane Charger. Now this is obtained by being exalted with the Arakoa Outcasts and is purchasable on both factions, from Shadow Sage Brakos in Storm Shield for the Alliance and Raven Speaker Stiga in War Spear for the Horde. It will cost you 5,000 gold plus 5,000 Apex Crystals. Dusty Rockhide. This requires you to be exalted with the Council of Exarchs. You will buy this from Vindicator Nurum in Storm Shield Asheran. This is an Alliance exclusive mount and will cost you 5,000 gold and 5,000 Apexis Crystals. The Swift Frostwolves. This is attained by being exalted with the Frostwolf Orcs and is of course Horde exclusive. You will buy this from Beska Red Tusk in Warspear Asheran and will cost you 5,000 gold and 5,000 Apexis Crystals. Ironside Warwolf. You'll need to be exalted with the Laughing Skull Orcs in order to purchase this mount. This will be purchased from Killrip in the trading post Frostwall, which is inside of your garrison. This is of course a Horde exclusive, and in order to first unlock the vendor to get this mount, you will need a level 2 trading post in your garrison, which will allow you to farm the reputation with the Laughing Skull Orcs. And once you're exalted, you can buy this mount for 5,000 gold and 5,000 Apexis Crystals. Corrupted Dreadwing. Now this one can be purchased from Dawn Seeker Krisek in Tanan Jungle once you've reached friendly with Order of the Awakened. This one will cost you 150,000 Apexis Crystals. Armoured Iron Tusk. Now this one is purchased from Marie in the trading post in the Alliance garrison in Lunarfall. You will be required to be exalted with the Shatari Defence. It will cost you 5,000 gold and 5,000 Apexis Crystals. And same as the Horde one, you will need a level 2 training post at your garrison to unlock the vendor for this mount and also unlock the ability to gain reputation with the Shatari Defence. Once you become exalted, you will be able to purchase this mount. Domesticated Razorback. Now in order to purchase this mount, you will have to be exalted with Steam Weddle Preservation Society. For the Alliance, you will have to go to Gazric Gearlock in Storm Shield. And for the Horde, you'll have to go to Mimi Whizzelbud in Warspear. This will cost you 5,000 gold and 5,000 Apexis Crystals. Moving on to Mists of Pandaria, starting off with the Cloud Serpent mounts. In order to purchase these, you will need to be exalted with Order of the Cloud Serpents, and the Azure Cloud Serpent, Golden Cloud Serpent and Jade Cloud Serpent can all be purchased from San Redscale in the Jade Forest for 3,000 gold each. The Riding Crane mounts. Now these are attained by getting exalted with the Golden Lotus. They come in 3 varieties. The Azure Riding Crane, which will cost you 500 gold. You have the Golden Riding Crane, which will cost you 2,500 gold. And then you have the Regal Riding Crane, which will cost you 1,500 gold. Each of these purchased from Agello the Generous in Mogashon Palace, Valley of the Eternal Blossoms. Shadowpan Riding Tigers. Now for this you'll need to be exalted with the Shadowpan, and again comes in 3 varieties, starting with the blue Shadowpan Riding Tiger, which will cost you 500 gold. The green Shadowpan Riding Tiger, costing you 1,500. And the red Shadowpan Riding Tiger costing you 2,500, all brought from Rushi the Fox in a Shadowpan garrison, Tao Long Steps. Riding Goats. Now these are retained by being exalted with the Tillers and are purchased from Gina Mudclaw in Half Hill Market, Valley of the Four Winds. You have the brown Riding Goat, which will cost you 500 gold, the black Riding Goat, which will cost you 1,500, and the White Riding Goat, which will cost you 3,250 gold. Grand Armoured Wyvern. This is a Horde exclusive mount attained by being exalted with Dominance Offensive. This will be purchased from Tusk Ripper Gruckner in Domination Point in Krasaranga Wilds, costing you 2,000 gold. Heavenly Golden Cloud Serpent. For this one you will need to be Venerant with Emperor Sheho. The mount itself can be purchased from Mist Weaver Ku in the Timeless Isle. You will also need the Clan Serpent Riding Learn to be able to get this mount, and it will cost you a measly 100,000 Timeless coins. Golden Primal Direhorn. This is obtained from Hiren Lawnsong on the Isle of Thunder. It requires you to be exalted with the Kirin Tor Fence, is of course Alliance exclusive, and costs you 3,000 gold. The Crimson Water Strider. For this one you will need to be best friends with Nat Pagal, who will appear in your garrison in either Frostwall for the Horde or Lunarfall for the Alliance, and it will cost you 100 of Nate's lucky coins. In order to get Nat Pagal to appear in your garrison, you will need to build a fishing shack and get it to level 3. In order to gain friendship with Nat Pagal, you will have to do quests for him in both Warlords of Draenor and Mr. Pandaria. To get the coins themselves, you will have to fish up lunkers, which are a rare variety of Draenor's own fish, and turn them into Nat Pagal himself. The coins are also found as uncommon loot from Cavid Weller Murlocs in your garrison's fishing pond, and these are summoned using the carp, the Lunarfall carp or frosty minnows, which can be occasionally caught from the same pond with a level 3 fishing shack. Grand Armoured Griffin. This is attained by being exalted with Operation Shield Wall, and is purchased from Agent Mali in Lion's Landing, Krasarang Wilds, and for 2,000 gold, and is of course Alliance only. Crimson Primal Direhorn, which is the Horde exclusive mount that you have to be exalted with Sunreaver Onslaught to obtain. It will be brought from Vasaran Redmoor on the Isle of Thunder for 3,000 gold. Azure Water Strider. This one requires you to be exalted with the Anglers, and is purchased from Nat Pagal in Angler's Wrath, Krasarang Wilds, and will cost you 5,000 gold. Thundering August Cloud Serpent. Now this is available once you have gained exalted reputation with the August Celestials. It is either purchased for the Alliance from Sage Whiteheart in the Shrine of the Seven Stars in the Valley of Eternal Blossoms, or for the Horde from Sage Lotus Bloom in Shrine of the Two Moons in Valley of the Eternal Blossoms, and will cost you 10,000 gold. Now Amber Scorpion. Now this will require you to be exalted with the Calaxy, and is purchased from Ambersmith Zik in the Calaxivis in the Dread Waste. This is the amount you have to do an absolute butt ton of dailies to get the kind of reputation for this one, so enjoy that. And it will cost you, once you've done all that grinding, 10,000 gold. Red Flying Cloud. This is attained by being exalted with the Law Walkers, and is purchased from Tan Shi Tayo in the Seat of Knowledge, Valley of Eternal Blossoms for 500 gold. Now on to Cataclysm. Riding Camels. Now these were obtained by being exalted with Ramkahan, and are both purchased from Blacksmith Abasi in Ramakahan. I cannot say that. In Oldham. There are two varieties, the Brown Riding Camel and the Tan Riding Camel, each costing you 100 gold, even though some factions do get a discount to 80. Now on to Wrath of the Lich King. The Ice Mammoth Mounts. These are obtained by being revered and exalted with the Sons of Hodir. There is one for each of those. They will have a slight colour variation depending on if you are Horde and Alliance, and they are both purchased from Lilhulf in Dun-Niflheim in the Storm Peaks. I'm so bad at these. The basic Ice Mammoth will cost you 2,500 gold. Some reputations give you a discount depending on your faction. And then you have the Grand Ice Mammoth, which will cost you 10,000 gold unless you are able to get a faction discount. Green Proto Drake. For this one, you will need to be revered with the oracles in order to purchase a mysterious egg. After 7 days, the egg will turn into a cracked egg, which then gives you a chance to contain this mount. You can also obtain this mount from completing Colster Arms PvP quests from the reward satchel. It is also rarely available on the Black Market Auction House, and you will purchase the mystery egg in Jen in the Shalazon Basin. The Red Drake. This is obtained by being exalted with the Womcrest Accord. This is purchased from Silazars, in the Womcrest Temple, and will cost you 2,000 gold unless you're able to get a discount to 1,600 gold depending on your faction. Now onto the Burning Crusade, starting off with the Talbuk mounts. There are two varieties of these, being the Riding Talbuk and the War Talbuk. They are purchased by either, if you are Alliance, from Trader Narosu in Teler Negrand. For that one you must be exalted with the Cruane, and if you are Horde you are purchasing them for Provisioner Nasella in Garador in Negrand. The basic ones will cost you 70 gold, while the War ones will cost you 100 gold. And there's a few different varieties, being the Cobalt Riding Talbuk, the War Toolbook, the Silver Riding and War Toolbook, the Tan Riding and War Toolbook, and the White Riding and War Toolbook. The Neverwing Drake mounts. Now these are obtained by being exalted with the Neverwing and can be purchased. All these can then be purchased from either Drake dealer Herlunk in the Neverwing Ledge in Shadowmoon Valley, each costing you 200 gold, or you can buy them from their individual vendors. For the Azure Neverwing Drake, you'll be looking at Suraku in the lower city of Shatrath City. You will be having Joris, which is also in the lower city of Shatrath City, which is where all is located. Onyxian for the Onyx Neverwing Drake. For the Purple Neverwing Drake, you'll want to speak to Malphus. For the Viridian Neverwing Drake, you'll need to speak to Zoya. And for the Violet Neverwing Drake, you will need to speak to Veraniku. Riding Neveray mounts. Now these are attained by being exalted with the Shatari Skyguard, each costing you 200 gold unless you can get a faction discount. They are bought from Gorilla in the Blackwing Landing in the Terracotta Forest. The varieties for these are the Blue Riding Neveray, Green, Purple, Red, and Silver Riding Neveray. Cenarian War Hippogriff. This is attained by being exalted with the Cenarian Expedition. It will cost you 2,000 gold and is purchased from Fredrin Swiftspear in the Cenarian Refuge in Zangarmarsh. And to finish off, we have the guild mounts, all of course requiring you to be exalted with your current guild. The Alliance exclusive one being the Golden King, the one available to both factions being Dark Phoenix, and the Horde exclusive being the Corcoran Annihilator. All these purchased from your guild vendor in your respective capital city, may that be Stormwind or Orgrimmar. And that is it. So if you've enjoyed, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. Remember to follow me on Twitter, it's always down below. So last thing to say, thank you so much for watching. I've been XStarKillerX, and I shall see you in the next World of Warcraft video. Thanks for watching.